Well, this year, a lot of us have had to adjust to change in our lives. The economy has forced many people to budget. Some have had to downsize because of job loss, and others are fearful their jobs might be in jeopardy. Local author Jim Clemmer's latest book tackles change head-on. It's called Growing at the Speed of Change, your inspirational guide for leading yourself and others through constant change. And he joins us now. It's a long title, Jim.
It's a mouthful, that is.
So now, change, nobody really likes change because it is stressful and it makes you feel like you don't have any control over your life.
I think most of us like change that we see as positive and think is really taking us forward. But the big challenge is when the change is negative and how do we respond.
Right.
So I've been using a model for years, which I updated in this book, that basically says, well, when we're faced with difficult change, we can either lead, we can follow, or we can wallow. Those are really, I think, our basic choices.
Right.
And it's easy to do the wallowing. It's easy to get caught up in maybe self-pity and all the negativity and what's wrong. And in fact, I like to play around with the idea that we can get on the bitter bus, drive down Helpless Highway and into Frown Town and Pity City. And
So how do you stop from going there then? Say, in the case of a job loss, that's a huge change.
It is. And there's no quick magic answer, but I think it's first recognizing I do have a choice, and I can decide to look at this as where there might be some opportunities and where, or wallow.
Right.
And then there's a number of steps in the book that talks to, for example, being clear, well, what is it that I do want? Maybe what is the ideal job that I want? Is this potentially an opportunity wrapped up in a real problem?
Right.
And then how do I start to move myself forward? So from my personal growth, the kinds of things I'm telling myself every day, some of that self-talk and affirmations and so on that we use, all of those determine whether we're going to be up or down through the change.
So these are concrete things then that people can take away from your book.
Yeah, well, the made-up word inspirational
Right.
is the idea of trying to inspire action and practical things that people can use to move forward.
Okay. Now, you were born and raised on a Mennonite farm right in this
I
area.
was.
How did you get to be this speaker, inspirational, motivational speaker?
Well, a few changes occurred, yeah. It was, I guess, early on. I actually worked for Culligan. I was a Hay Culligan man back in the day. And I met some people, read some books that dramatically shifted my thinking about what's possible, about kind of my vision, dream of where I wanted to go. And so that's part of what I've tried to, in all of my books, bring in are those underlying principles. So early on, I really got turned on to some of those principles and I've tried to apply them as much as I can.
Made the difference for you.
It sure has.
All right. Well, Jim's book is called Growing at the Speed of Change. It's available everywhere?
It's available certainly through websites. It's not yet in the bookstores, but yeah, it's Amazon and Chapters. And,
or jimclemmer.com.
That'll do it too.
Thanks for coming in.
All right. Thank you, Nancy.
All right. Back to you, Kyle.